Previously on TV Tuners.
My hands! They're lobster claws?
Swanson turned himself into a demon?
My hands! They're crab claws?
Now I'm gonna pinch everything until there's nothing left, starting with this lady's butt?
That's right. I have achieved 100% power!
Ow! My butt! And now, TV Tuners continues.
Folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive in the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and a guy who I'm going to make my driver, Stairmaster.
Hey, yo! What up, my G-man?
This was a mistake. This is a mistake, but it also might have been more racially targeted if I gave it to Keo.
Well, you can make Keo be an Italian guy from the show.
And with us, as always, of course, our other co-host and guy who's a boss now that I've gotten out of jail, Keo Rain.
Hey. You think you're gonna get...
This is it.
Come on.
That's all he said.
We only get two words.
Hey.
You gonna get paid just because you spent 25 years in prison? Don't think so.
You must never listen to this impression. Oh. Keo's not doing Sly Stallone.
It's all right to do this for Italians, though. It's not okay to do this for black people.
A beautiful pape.
You're gonna go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, instead of being here, because, I don't know, just go.
You're 75 years old, and we're going to send you somewhere else to do a new operation for us.
Yeah, we scoped it out, and there's no crime there.
Zero crime, Oklahoma, red state.
When people come down there and do crimes, the locals are just like, what?
Crime?
They're like, what? Entire nation?
But, yeah, welcome to another exciting edition, a main feed episode of TV Tuners, whatever that means these days.
That's crazy.
We're here, we're talking about a TV show, a new TV show-ish. And, yeah, it's
when
gonna
this
be
come
an
out?
exciting time. November.
And that's new. Come on.
Hey, that's newer than the Berserk show we just finished watching.
Yeah. So, that's new, you know? That's
Here
new.
on TV Tuners, we love to present the latest in the TV world.
We love to present.
The grim world of television.
We love it so much that we do it at least 10 times a year.
We love taking deep dives into the grim world of television and the darkness that lies therein.
It's true. All of that's true. Every last word of it. And, of course, before we get into all the nitty-gritty, talking about this great show we watched this week, Tulsa King.
Perhaps the greatest.
Some are saying this. One in particular, you. But if you have any quips, comments, questions, foresights, otherwise, well, you could send them to us at our email address.
What?
And we'll read them aloud on the podcast.
Sure.
Emails are sort of like message boards, private messages, inbox, but for the entire internet.
It's true.
Yeah,
Are you explaining that for...
It's like having an open DMs for anybody who has your handle.
You're explaining this for Sylvester Stallone.
Who went to prison shortly after 9/11.
Yes.
In the show.
Wouldn't it be before?
No, it was 20 years.
I thought it was 25
20 years or 25? Oh, I guess he did go to jail before 9/11.
Yeah, he didn't even... He probably doesn't even know what happened. They probably cut a scene where he walked out and he's like, "Hey, where'd the towers go?"
Oh.
Hey, weren't there two up there?
He asked his driver guy what happened to the... And he's just like, "They flew planes into him, pow!" And he does a little hand thing.
Yeah, they cut it for obvious reasons.
How could they make that happen to the tower?
I don't think that's what he sounds like.
No, I want to hear Keo do some more Sly impressions, please.
Keo's vocal impression of Sly Stallone is sort of like what the character designer of Gundam's visual impression of Sly Stallone was when he made Sliger Law right now.
No, I like it. I didn't know Sylvester Stallone voiced Mushmouth on Fat Albert.
Can't believe they did that to the towers.
It's like if Sylvester Stallone had just gotten out of dental surgery.
My teeth hurt.
Oh, poor baby.
Question: any quips, comments, questions, foresights, otherwise, send to our email address, tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email, Keo Ryan?
tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com.
That's
right.
Or should I say that like Sylvester Stallone, like with my really good impression?
No, thank you.
tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com.
You know, it's sounding more and more like him.
You're getting there.
By the end of the episode, I bet he'll sound exactly like Sylvester Stallone.
I am Sylvester Stallone.
But before we get into the nitty gritty, before we start talking about everything that is important in TV land, let's get to an important question that I have for you. What'd you guys watch this week? Anything fun, interesting?
Oh, I've been watching Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Why?
Okay. Great questions.
Why?
Yeah, how'd that happen?
I felt like it.
Oh, wow. Your win.
What are they doing in that show?
Okay, so imagine like Game of Thrones, except it's a huge space war, and it actually lives up to the hype. Also, it's a Japanese anime.
Okay, so it's not Game of Thrones at all.
Well, there's a lot of characters.
Decidedly
and politics.
Not Game of Thrones.
So it's not Game of Thrones. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. Imagine a show that's very good.
Ooh.
And also imagine it's 110 episodes long.
That's a lot.
Okay.
Imagine there's like 2 episodes where a character just sits down and watches a history documentary, and you go, "Yeah, give me that shit."
Is this what they call slow cinema?
It must be really.
No,
it must be really good. Do they have like his silhouette as he's watching it, and he's doing little commentary?
Yeah. No, there's like a space battle every 10 episodes or so.
Oh, okay. What are they doing?
People are constantly getting their heads chopped off with axes.
Oh.
There's love, there's romance, there's intrigue. This show's got everything. It's got a cat.
Damn.
Are you like the marketing like guy for the?
Yeah, I'm on the marketing team now.
That's all you really need to say as part of the marketing team. This one's got a cat.
Yeah,
it's got a guy who's got the same voice actor as Amuro Ray.
Look, I'm on board. I'm already going to watch it now, so you don't need to keep pitching it to me. Because
well, hold on, I'm still on the fence.
I'm glad you don't have any questions.
No,
I am on the fence still. I have a question.
Okay.
Does the guy who voices Amuro, who voices whoever this guy is, does he have as many mental breakdowns?
No, but the quality of the mental breakdowns are higher. And he does get locked up in a psychiatric hospital.
Oh. Okay.
Sounds pretty intense. I'm not watching this.
Oh.
It's too
okay,
intense
sorry. If you're a baby like Keo, don't watch this show. People are constantly getting shot with lasers in the head.
I don't think I can handle that.
It's awful.
No.
No.
Not for me. Not for me. Let's see. I'm afraid I won't be watching this. Unfortunately, Stairmaster.
And as for Swanson, he's already decided to embark on the
look, he's already watching it.
Yeah.
Wow, what a fun time.
Yeah, you can watch it on High Dive, the streaming service.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure that's a real thing.
I just made it up. So people could watch the show.
Sounds suspect to me, but...
There's a lot of people making up like fake streaming services all the time. They're like, hey, go pick this up on Giblet. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, you guys subscribe to Giblet?
Legend of the Galactic Heroes, but it's on Quibbly and it's 10,000 episodes long.
Quibbly?
Quibbly. Quibi. the AMX 104 Quibbly.
It's Quibbly. It's Quibbly. But yeah, so that's a tune-in?
Yeah, it's a tune-in. Greatest of all time.
Okay.
With the sauce.
And does anyone bust it down sexual style?
Yeah.
Oh, alright. Keo, you got anything?
Swanson, look. Oh, I got caught up on Bleach.
Oh, okay. Speak.
Right.
They got all these new. They got. You know what they did, Swanson? That really shocks me. So they brought in like a group of like new guys,
and they're all eccentric.
Yeah, they're all weird.
I could have never guessed this would happen in the show Bleach by Tai Kubo.
Taito Kubo.
Yeah. Isn't it just tight?
I think it's Taito.
Well, I'll tell you what isn't tight, his plotting when it comes to introducing new characters.
Yeah. Well, I've been enjoying it. It's a good program.
Okay, but how are these new characters? How are their designs?
They were all designed by the One Piece guy, by the way, Keo.
That's why they're so, like... they're so wacky.
Yeah, especially the cooking lady.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking, like there's no way... Like, this is, like... He would never create this character. But then it turns out that she becomes a sexy lady once she's cooked enough food.
Classic Kubo.
Yeah. So it's
since it's Kubo and not the One Piece guy, she has a reasonable figure.
Remember back in the day, in the good old days, when every female would become a sexy lady when she cooked up food.
Yeah, well, it's just a natural thing that it harkens back to
that's just a biological reaction.
Days. Yeah, that's what happens when you cook up enough food. Like you use up your reishi, and
yes.
Back
in what I like to call the golden age,
and you lose a lot of weight, but not in one particular place, and that's your breasts. That's where it stays.
Yeah, you don't lose waist above your stomach and below your.
And you don't have weird skin sagging or anything.
Oh yeah, your skin must remain completely supple. That's just
great. 10 out of 10 choice of words, Theo.
Nailed it.
So what? It's good tuning on new Bleach?
Yeah, I can't imagine it drastically dropping in quality anytime soon.
Yeah, and I like this arc a fair bit because it gets away from some of the problems I had with some of the other arcs where okay, there's two big problems. One is that in general, especially with like around like adjacent to the Iran-Car arc, there was a lot of fights going on, and they had two issues. One is they were just fights for the sake of having a fight. It's just like, okay, there's a fight. And
we gotta show the characters.
Yeah, they gotta show off all the characters having all their fights. I don't know why. But two, there was like never any stakes. It didn't feel like anything was really gonna happen with the fight. Like you had the impression that, okay, it's a captain fighting there, or a guy fighting there, and it's gonna be fine. at least I don't know if they're really gonna really do this, but it feels like there's higher stakes because these villains seem much more deadly than previously. What do you think, Stare?
People have actually died.
Well, yeah, people have died. I just don't know about major characters have died.
Well, the old guy died. That's a big old shit moment.
Oh yeah,
and Byakuya almost died, but then the editors intervened.
Boo.
Yeah, like they put their hand on Kubo's pen and they were like, no.
No. The Fujoshis will riot. They'll storm Parliament.
Yeah,
behead the Prime Minister if you do this.
Yeah, we have some hardcore
Kubo
enemies
should have
here.
done that.
And they're doing some killing, and it's pretty great. It's pretty good.
All right.
And the blonde guy with the sword that makes you heavy just gets one-shotted.
Yeah, does he die?
Army should.
They leave that ambiguous.
Do you want spoilers?
Yes, I want spoilers. I'm concerned about this man.
He shows up for one panel in the manga as a cyborg.
What?
Excuse
the
me?
hole he has in him, it just had some metal rods, like a metal grate.
So, like, he's alive, but, like...
Yeah, and according to the light novel, he doesn't feel like he's connected with the previous Kira anymore. He doesn't, like, the rebuilding process destroyed his sense of self.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just died.
He got wrecked, but they left it ambiguous if he died or not. They were like, his energy's faded, and I'm like, okay, does that mean he's dead or not? Because that doesn't tell me anything, folks.
Like Matsumoto, the boob lady, suffered a similar injury in the Arenkar arc, and she was fine.
Well, because one's a boob lady.
Yeah.
Well, you cannot kill her. That's not acceptable. Like, that's not happening.
Well, yeah, she's Kubo's favorite.
My favorite.
She's lots of people's favorites, and we all know why.
Yeah, because breast. And that's spelled BREST.
I was going to say, because she likes to party.
As they say, the breast is best.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a tune in. A continue tune in on the current Bleach that's coming out.
All right, I'm continuing my watch through the Coen Brothers filmography, and I've gotten to the period of films that I have not watched before. Starting with this one that I watched, the Man Who Wasn't There.
I never saw that.
It stars James Gandolfini, Billy Bob Thornton, and some other people.
Wait, what'd you watch, Swanson? I wasn't paying attention.
It's a movie called The Man Who Wasn't There. It's
James Gandolfini is a leading actor.
No, he's not the leading actor. I should have said Billy Bob Thornton first.
How can he be in a movie if he's dead?
True.
A great question.
Well, Bruce Lee managed it.
He's like a professional martial artist. He's like,
yeah, James Gandolfini's just a guy.
Yeah.
His Nen persisted after death.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. This is pretty good. It's a send out. It's like a tribute to old film noirs. It's shot in black and white, but looks really good. Billy Bob Thornton plays a barber who gets involved in a criminal enterprise involving dry cleaning. And things spiral.
I assume they're like killing people by putting them in the dry cleaning machine.
No, not really. I mean, the criminal element isn't so much as it's just that he gets involved with some murders.
Wait, how does dry cleaning work? Is there like a machine you put the thing in? I thought you had like a hand tool that you did it with.
Oh, I should also say it's set in the 1940s, so it's like dry cleaning is like a new up and coming thing.
I think that like there's a big dryer, like a big heating room. So maybe you could kill someone by sticking them in there.
It's a room?
I assume.
Yeah.
I'm just making an educated guess here.
It's an interesting
level
movie.
of education is 0.
I've been to the dry cleaners before. Like I've gone inside the building.
Oh, they took you to the cleaners?
Wow,
and
they took you there.
It's a mysterious place. They take your clothes behind the building, out back.
They took your clothes off?
No, the clothes you bring in, like your fitted suits.
Clothes off your back?
Yeah, and they took them in the back, and they were like, "Come back later. Your clothes will be clean for you at that point." And I was like,
Gus Fring
"Wow,
was there?
I was like, wow, Dad, you take your clothes to a really cool place to get them cleaned.
I also thought my dad was cool for going to the dry cleaner when I was young.
And you and your dad both left nude.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's how are you going to get your clothes clean if you're wearing them? It would burn your skin, like in this movie you watched.
That did not happen in this movie. It was a pretty good movie. Billy Bob Thornton does like the classic like film noir narration throughout, but the little catch is that his character is like an emotionless shell of a person. So events will just, like a murder will just happen, and he'll be like, "I didn't mean for this to go this way," and that'll just be all he says about the murder.
So sort of like the real life Billy Bob Thornton.
Probably. But James Gandolfini plays a department store guy who may have a shady past and also is sleeping with Billy Bob Thornton's wife.
I'd be so mad if that happened to me.
Well, you know.
And also, I'd be powerless to do anything.
In the face of James Gandolfini.
Yeah, James Gandolfini. Yeah. What, he's a national treasure, too. He could kick my ass.
True, and he does. But yeah, it's a pretty good movie. As expected for a Coen Brothers picture, it's pretty funny, but also there's some twists and turns that you're not expecting. Also, a UFO shows up.
Oh, so that's where that part of Fargo came from.
So yeah. I've discovered a horrible truth about dry cleaning is that your clothes get wet in the process of the dry cleaning.
Oh, that's ironic, isn't it?
But it's not with water, which is why it's dry.
It's cum.
It's true.
It's a very perverse practice.
That's why they take them from you.
It's like Lawnmower Man, the short story. There's just a nude guy jacking off in the background while praying.
They can't have you know.
Well, yeah, that's what they're taking behind the building for this.
Yeah, but they can't have you know what goes on in the mysterious process of dry cleaning. Anyway, it's a tune-in. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I'll tune in too.
I'll give it a tune in. I think it sounds great.
That's a tune in for the TV tuners boys.
To dry cleaning the movie is what I think Keo thinks this movie is.
Well, yeah. I'm surprised, despite watching this, you don't know what dry cleaning is, Swanson.
Sounds like a bad movie. It was about dry cleaning. It doesn't tell you how dry cleaning happens.
Yeah, tune out.
It's a good thing it's not about dry cleaning.
Did I mention Legend of Galactic Heroes? It's about this big space war.
Yes.
And these ships have... And they never explain how the faster-than-light travel works.
The ships have dry cleaners?
Yeah, that...
Well, how do you explain how faster-than-light travel works, Stare? How do you explain it?
With bullshit.
You make up like a term like gravitic warp or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you say you gotta hit the gleep glop button and then like, the goober meter goes up. Anyway, let's get to the news.
Okay, what happened?
I only have one news story, really, but it's a doozy.
Okay.
I think we talked earlier on I think we talked a few months ago on the pod about the HBOMax and Warner Brothers / Discovery merger that's been happening. Basically, HBO and Warner Brothers, which are the same company, are now becoming the same company with Discovery, which is another company for a little bit. Basically, Warner will own CNN, Discovery, HBO, Cartoon Network.
Three small African nations.
Yeah, 3 small African nations, an island off the coast of Japan, and all of the DC properties.
Okay.
But there's a little bit of it's been an odd sort of situation because the new head of the company has been getting rid of a lot of TV shows that were already in place, just holding on, just not releasing films that have already been filmed and just keeping them in a vault somewhere and deep in Warner Brothers. And for the latest set of odd business decisions, the streaming services have decided on what their fusion name will be. Discovery, of course, had its own streaming service, Discovery Plus, and HBO has its own, of course, HBO Max. So in combining, they will be merging into one giant streaming service titled simply Max.
No, Swanson. Swanson, no.
You can't just have it be one word.
You can't have it be
Is
one word.
Is that like an acronym?
No, it's Max. It's just called Max. You can't have it be one word that takes out both of the names of the companies.
Also, it's a guy's name. It's like a name for a person.
Yeah, is someone gonna Google? Someone has to Google Max streaming service to even find it, probably.
And Google's gonna think that's an adjective.
Like the most streaming service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Are they is somebody just really bored and just trying to figure out how to combine these?
Yeah, well, they are very bored.
Or is there
part of it?
Is there some guy who says like, this is how you will make the most money? You must combine these two things with this one and this one there, and you're gonna call it this.
Now, of course, this could always change because the process isn't fully vetted yet, whatever that means. But that is the name that senior executives have been told is going forward. Another frontrunner for the name, apparently, according to this article, Beam.
Beam?
Beam.
Beam?
Beam.
No,
Mr. Beam.
Not Mr. Bean. Mr. Beam.
Yeah, Mr. Beam.
Which is ironic, which is oddly, I think it's slightly better, but still tells me nothing about what this streaming service is, what content I can expect on it.
It's gonna beam the shows right onto your brain.
Like, HBOMax tells you what I can expect. Oh, HBO stuff.
Yeah, HBO.
What can I expect with Beam or Max?
Look, honestly, none of these streaming services ever made any sense except for HBO
Why
Max.
not call, like, Warner Max?
No, that would make too much sense. That would tell you who owns it.
Yeah. I mean, the only one that's actually gotten this right in terms of streaming services that had like an identifiable brand before moving to streaming is Disney Plus, right?
Oh yeah,
they just did.
Well,
Disney Plus.
HBO Max had the HBO in it, but
they
kind of fucked it up by it not being HBO exclusive.
HBO Max, and then Disney Plus, and then we have things like Peacock, which is just
it just means nothing.
Still boggles me. It's like you have to invoke the,
What is Paramount
logo.
Plus?
Yeah, there's Paramount Plus, which was CBS,
where you can watch shows like
access.
Tulsa King.
It's true. But yeah, but that would be if they had rebranded Paramount Plus to like that would be Peacock.
Just imagine that they make a new streaming service. It's called like Strim.
Strim.
Yeah, that would be just as descriptive as what they're trying to come up with these new names.
Yeah, and it seems as though this new launch date for the combined streaming services will be maxed out by spring of 2023 is what I'm thinking is what they're saying so far. So we'll have HBO Max until then, I guess.
And also because of cuts, there will only be 2 TV shows on it.
Yeah,
one of which will be Space Ghost from the 1960s.
And piracy is always ethical.
It's true. There's no such thing as there's no such thing as ethics when we're dealing with capitalism, Kyo.
Yep.
But yeah, we're all looking forward to maxing out, relaxing all cool, and watching some Fresh Prince, which is not going to be on HBO Max, I don't think.
I wish we would go back to the simple days where we just had Netflix and chill.
It's true, yeah. Is anybody gonna max and chill?
So you're saying that nobody said that when Netflix was the only one around? You're saying no one said that?
I'm saying, yeah. People aren't having sex anymore. That's what we're getting at.
It's true.
Well, actually, I've got photographic evidence that people are still having sex.
Oh.
Oh, you can show that.
These are very graphic, Kyo. Why do you keep zooming in?
Why not? It's evidence.
Did you send these to Kent Tamura? Yep.
Yeah. Yes, why not?
Oh, that makes sense.
Well, I guess that's fine and dandy, Keo. That's it for the news, guys. I only have that one story, but luckily, there's another segment that's near and dear to everybody's hearts. It's Guess Who's Coming? Hit the theme, Keo.
Oh, hey, 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 hey. Everything gonna be alright.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you got for us, Swanson? What's going on?
It's Guess Who's Coming, the monthly game show podcast where we play a little game and I give out prize at the end.
Okay, what's the prize?
Well, you'll find out when you inevitably win.
It's not a foregone conclusion. Stairmaster's on his A game today. He's even got his vest on.
It's true. His vest. How many games have you won with that vest, Stair?
1.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey. That's one less than without the vest.
Has it? Did I win twice?
Yes, I think in the grand total of the times we've played this game, you've won at least twice. Maybe
I think he's won like 3 times.
Yeah, hard to say. But, of course, this is a game show where I give my friends, Keo and Swan, not me, Keo and Stairmaster, the names of upcoming TV shows, and they guess what the titles are, what they are based off of the titles.
So true.
Whoever is closest wins. Now, we are, of course, in the month of December, the final month of the year. The holiday season's almost upon us. Some would say it is. Which means that there's not a whole lot of shows coming out right now. So I only have 3 shows for you today. So it's going to be a tight game.
A knife fight in a phone booth.
That's right. That's right. And I'm going to start with this Amazon show. Okay, get that in your head. Oh, yeah, this is also all streaming, by the way.
That's the world we live in now.
This Amazon program, 3 Pines.
3 what?
3 pines. Like trees, like pine trees. Pines.
3 pines. Like, if you're out there in the woods and there's only 3 pines.
I think maybe you need to go to some more woods.
There's not really woods. More like a field.
No, it's the woods, but most of the trees are like oak. But then there's like 3. That's what the show is about, by the way. There's a forest, and there's a lot of trees there, but there's only 3 pine trees, and they're like legendary trees. And there's like a lumberjack who's evil, and he wants to chop them down, take them, and like get their power. But yeah, the heroes of the show, they don't let him.
I'm thinking like
say,
3
they say no.
I'm thinking that 3 Pines is about the small town.
Ooh.
In like the Northwest.
Oh man, Stairs got me on this one.
And like the community has to band together because they're gonna bulldoze it over to build an overpass.
Okay.
And there's a guy who fucks.
Oh. What does he fuck?
Oh, women.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Statistically speaking.
The series follows Chief Inspector Armand Gamanche as he investigates cases that happen beneath the idyllic surface of the Quebec village of 3 Pines, finding long-buried secrets and facing a few of his own ghosts.
Okay, so this does sound like a guy who fucks.
No, it doesn't.
It sounds like it. Like a Harry Bosch type individual. A Hieronymus Bosch.
I am going to say that he is played by the guy who played Dr. Octopus in the live-action Spider-Man movie.
Oh, Alfred Molina.
Yeah, Alfred Molina. But I felt like if I said that name, Kia would not know who I meant.
He definitely fucks. Come on.
Like IRL, but his roles don't.
Come on, he fucks.
You're not gonna. What? He's got 4 extra arms. You're not gonna fuck with that guy?
No. Yeah, I mean, not for Marine that fucks.
He's got the arms, but he definitely doesn't even think about doing that with them. Doesn't even consider it.
That's what, and that is what makes him a villain.
So I'm guessing though that this town has lots of trees. It's called Three Pines, but it's definitely settled in a forest.
Also, mine featured a town. Keo's did not.
True.
I get.
And being murdered.
Stair did get the location wrong, but he did get a town in the idea there.
And being murdered sort of is like having your town be bulldozed over to build an overpass.
Mine had a villain, like a bad guy.
Oh, yours has a singular villain. This is a procedural.
Is it a procedural?
It sounds like it. Swanson said cases, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a procedural based off of the way it's worded.
Yeah, so there's different bad guys each week.
All right, well, I'm going to give the point to Stair, starting off strong.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to move on to Hulu with this show, Kindred.
Oh, Swanson, why are you doing this?
Okay, so this is a show about twins who were separated at birth. And then they come back together, and it turns out they're in love with the same man.
Okay.
And there's drama. And a guy who fucks.
Oh, okay. And is that the man? The titular man? Or is it a different character?
I'm keeping my options open.
Okay. Kindred is about it's about a community who's a tight knit kindred folk who have to take on a new enemy who's a lumberjack.
Oh, okay.
And he's coming to town, and he wants to cut down the
3 trees. The 3 legendary oaks.
Yeah. And these people
gotta gather the talismans to summon the guardian beast.
These people have to gather
Raikou, Entei, and Suicune.
And these kindred folk must band together like never before to stop this new threat.
And find the power that's inside.
Find the power that's inside.
Of course. As Dana, a young black woman and aspiring writer, begins to settle in her new home, she finds herself being pulled back and forth in time, emerging at a 19th century plantation and confronting secrets she never knew ran through her blood.
Okay,
what?
So she's like, there's got to be a guy who fucks.
That's all you got, Steer?
I mean, do we want to know about this guy that fucks, though? If she's on a plantation in the 19th century?
Absolutely not.
Well,
this is the one thing we didn't want to happen.
Mine had some kind of mystical thing to it. It just involved trees. And
it's more mystical than Family, Keo.
And a lumberjack is like a quasi agricultural.
I'm looking at the poster, and there are trees in the background.
Okay.
When you think about it, lumberjacks are sort of colonialists.
Yeah, they colonized the forest by.
Yeah, they're Americans with 3 Ks. And we need to butcher the third world peasantry needs to rise up and butcher them.
I don't endorse Stairmaster's commentary about...
TV Tuners is now a JP Don podcast.
I don't endorse these incitements of violence by Stairmaster.
I'm gonna say, give me one reason that you win, and I'll decide.
Okay.
I think I mentioned a community or something of kindred folk.
Yeah, but this is just one lady traveling back in time.
I mean, did she go back in time to the plantation and she's by herself? Like, she's just alone
I guess plantations are a community. You see, this is what they don't talk about in high school history.
It's true.
How plantations were a community.
That's right. I mean,
how people got together.
They have to form some kind of thing there, right? Like, they're not on their own.
Yeah, they were having a great time. They were always singing and stuff.
I didn't say it was a good time. I just say like they have to band together to survive those conditions. I guess. I don't know. I wasn't there.
All right. You gonna stare?
There's well, finding a twin that you've been separated from birth is sort of like traveling back in time and uncovering a mystery. They're both profound secrets.
Okay, cute.
And presumably this is going to be about her family history, since she's black.
Wasn't there like a love triangle in your Wasn't there like a love triangle in your story?
Tomato.
I think Kyo gets the point here.
Why do you think that, huh?
Because I said so.
Why do you say so, huh?
Sir Master's the arbiter.
I need you to defend your decision.
Well, I think Kyo had a good point when he said that plantations are a community, and it's good.
And you don't think that traveling back in time to
uncover he did say it was good.
Sort of like... Okay, true.
Mine had a villain, too. Mine had a villain. Yours didn't, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, you had a lumberjack of some sort, who is, as we all know, lumberjacks are colonialists for trees.
Yeah.
So, tied game here. Who could have foreseen this happening? And so it brings us to our final one here. It's a Netflix show, of course. Oh. And it is titled, and I do have to say before I say the name of it, this is one of my favorite titles for anything. Hot Skull.
Wait, hold on. Hot what?
The title of this show is Hot Skull.
What?
Hot Skull.
I'll say it one more time.
Red Hot Skull.
The name of this show is Hot Skull.
Like the thing in my head?
Yeah.
That's right, like the bones that make up that hide your brain away.
Okay, so some archaeologists find this ancient tomb, and they accidentally unleash a burning skeleton. No, they its head comes out and flies around and starts shooting projectiles at people in very intricate patterns. And so this guy, who fucks, has to assemble a team of historians to defeat it.
Okay.
Alright, Hot Skull is not, Swanson, it is unrelated to Ghost Rider, because that's like a Disney thing now. They would not have it on Netflix.
Yeah,
exactly, a Disney thing.
Isn't it?
Yeah, well, you're technically correct.
They own that, and they would not have it on Netflix. They would have it on their own streaming service, so it's nothing to do with... They'd also just call it Ghost Rider, so it's not that. Just let you know it's not that. However, it is about a guy whose skull can get real hot, but
because he swallowed a bunch of bellets.
He's not the Skull Knight either. His skull gets really hot, but it's actually not good. Like he's not Ghost Rider. He doesn't get to like ride a bicycle or whatever.
So he's like Shishio from Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, he's like that. So like he struggles with it, and he has to like figure out how to like not have a red skull or whatever the show's called.
Okay.
And the theme song is Red Hot Skull from Sonic Adventure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to play that.
Yeah, I can't make that sound with my mouth. Sorry.
In a dystopian world, as an epidemic spreads through verbal communication, a tyrannical institution pursues a linguist immune to the disease.
Yes!
What?
Okay, so there is a guy who fucks.
Okay.
Guy, non-gender specific.
So I'm gonna post the trailer here, and no one has to watch
come
this because
on.
I didn't watch it. I'm just talking about the
Well, I'm
screen
not going to
cap.
watch it either.
Yeah, I'm talking about only the screen cap here. Looks like a guy who fucks.
What? He looks like a nerd.
Well, he looks like a sexy nerd.
Yeah, he looks like a
He's got
sexy
a-
nerd
he's got a-
who's busted
look, he's
down
got a- look at
sexual
his
style.
Look at his jawline, Keo. Very Cro-Magnon-esque.
No,
That guy has a hot skull.
This guy seems like he might be capable of getting it, but he's too busy, like, down with the books, and he's
Yeah, but that's what makes a good TV, is a guy who's too busy
Yeah.
having to deal with the sexual conflict.
I mean,
he's
look at the way that lady behind him was looking at him.
he's voluntarily celibate.
Also, a disease is sort of like a giant flaming skull shooting projectiles at everyone in intricate patterns. They're both very deadly.
Yeah, why is it called hot? Why is it called hot skull though? That's what I want to know. Where's the skull part?
Shouldn't it be like burning lips, since it's a linguistically transmitted disease?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess maybe it makes your head explode. That'd be cool.
Is it spontaneous combustion? Is that what it is?
Oh, probably, right? I'm not watching the trailer.
I assume
told
it
you
makes
this.
you like speak the true name of God, and you can't handle it, so you burst into flames.
That's too Japanese, I think, for this show, which seems to be, I think it's like a Norwegian show. of
As
some
we
sort.
know, Netflix would never just sort of laze about and rely on the Japanese to remain culturally relevant.
It's true. They would never do such a thing.
That's a factual statement. If I ever heard one.
I'm simply
Look,
saying
I
that
got nothing for this.
Get fucked!
yeah, I think this is a point for Stare here. He's got it pretty well in place here. Stare, you've won the game.
This is a delight! I forget what victory feels like. I can only hope that this doesn't dramatically turn on me. Ends up being my undoing. What surprise!
Well, Stare, the prize is a free, all expenses paid trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
No!
Forever.
No!
Oh, does that mean it's time to talk about the show? Are we gonna be like on location for the show?
Yeah, we're all flying out to
TB2 Nerds
Tulsa.
is now in Tulsa.
We found a place that is actually less interesting than Denver by a lot. Tulsa, Oklahoma.
TV Tuners Podcast, Tulsa.
It's the heartland of America.
Okay, tell me more.
It's true. America was founded there.
Yeah, that's right. It is weird
Tell
that we
me
call
more.
Middle America the heartland, where
That's good.
that's
tell
not
me
where the
more.
heart's
I mean,
located.
the Tulsa race riots are the quintessential American moment.
True. Tell me
True.
more.
How great would it be if Sylvester Stallone in this show was just when he was talking to that racist like car dealer guy, he was just like, "Hey, you're trying to do this in the town where the race riots happen, man?"
I called that on Google. It's really bad.
I watched Watchmen just like everyone else.
How could you do this?
But
He was like a brother to me.
yeah, congratulations on winning the game, Stare, and of course, it is now time for us.
Oh, I thought we already
talk
started.
about the show. No,
Okay.
I have a
Yeah, I
whole
thought we were-
intro and everything. I know it's hard to remember because we haven't done a regular episode since like August.
I'm
We've been
just
too busy
saying, that
drinking
felt like a
coffees.
very powerful segue.
It was a segue, and now Swanson. Let's talk about the show. It's time to talk about the show, and I got a question.
It's time to talk about the show.
I had a question for you, Swanson, and I really wanted to know the answer. Prior to recording,
This is like the theme of the episode, I think, Keo's question.
yeah, prior to beginning the show, Swanson refused to answer this question. He was very adamant about not answering it. He said that the
said
question
no.
was he said,
Obscene.
yeah, obscene, inappropriate. And the question I have is this show a comedy?
Well, Keo, if you would refer
I think
back
this show
to,
might be a satire.
if you referred back to the discussions in our Discord here, you might note that I said I think Keo's onto something here.
Which is very much an answer.
No, that's not an answer. That's an aside comment, not a yes or no response.
What about the comment immediately after where I say, this show is extremely funny?
That's also not an answer to my question. Not an answer.
I feel like he's affirming you, Kia.
Well, I asked a yes or no question. Is this show a comedy, right? Which means, like, what's the intention of the program to come in here and make me laugh?
According to Wikipedia, this show is a
drama.
There
was no abundant intentionality present.
According to this show, this is a drama. And of course, I'm talking about Tulsa King. The latest show from Paramount Plus features Sylvester Stallone in a rare TV role as Dwight the General Manfredi, a New York mafia capo who just completed a 25-year prison sentence. Upon release, his boss sends him to Tulsa, Oklahoma to establish criminal operations there. Not knowing anyone in the area, the General seeks a new crew to help establish his empire, which I can only assume involves car insurance. Did Tulsa King have you making the dough, or did it have you sleeping with the fishes?
Yeah, so we start the show out, and we just get this like little monologue from our protagonist, which, ooh, yeah, whoa, wow.
Ever since the battle
Luke's not answering questions now.
Yeah, the show is had me laughing at the bottom of the river with the fish.
Hold on.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that seems bad.
I'd be very scared if I saw that.
Yeah.
I'd be very scared if I experienced it, too.
Oh, you'd be laughing if you were, and you'd be having a good time.
If I saw a guy at the bottom of the river laughing.
Yeah, but how would you get there?
By swimming. Going for a little swim.
A little scuba dive.
We get this monologue at the beginning where he's like, "I've been in prison for." I really shouldn't try to do the voice because
I've been in prison for 25 years, but I've been reading a lot of good books.
I'm a well-read character, which will be revealed in later scenes where I'll mention things I've read. Anyways, it was bad. I didn't like it, and
Oh, you better believe I paused to see what books he was reading.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God! What Legend of the Galactic Heroes?
That's right. He was reading all 35 volumes of Berserk. No, he was reading Faust and Othello and Thus Say Zarathustra. Is that how you say that?
Wow, when you think about it, he went to jail right when he got on that boat, I think.
Wow. He's got a lot of catching up to do. I could imagine him being like in the like talking to like the guy who runs the prison library and be like,
What do you mean there's not another copy of Berserk? It's been 13 years. You told me there's not another volume?
Well, what are you talking about?
So yeah, he's finally getting out of prison after 25 years, and he was in there for so long because, of course, he's no rat. He's got the criminal honor code, which am I supposed to find that like really admirable? Am I supposed to be like, wow, what a guy? Yeah. He was successfully indoctrinated into the criminal system where
he's a good guy. He's married to the game, and he's waiting to see if he's been married back, whatever that means.
Where ratting is deeply shunned and most likely will lead to your death anyway. Wow, what a guy.
Oh, before we get too deep into this, I do want to mention Tulsa King is the latest show from Taylor Sheridan, who? He's the creator and main showrunner of every boomer's favorite show, Yellowstone.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. That explains a lot about this program.
Yeah. Also, of course, he co-wrote Sicario and the sequel, Sicario: Day of the Soldado.
Sicario, a movie beloved for its screenplay.
I'm a TV and film novice. What is Yellowstone?
Yellowstone's like some boomer core TV show about a guy who fucks.
So you're kind of.
It's about a guy played by Kevin Costner who owns a farm or some shit.
Yeah, he fucks.
He owns the largest ranch. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna read the premise. The series follows the Dutton family, owners of the largest ranch in Montana, the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, commonly called the Yellowstone. The plot revolves around family drama at the ranch.
Okay.
And this has been going on for 5 years. Longer than the pod.
That's crazy.
The reason I don't think we ever thought to cover this is because it was on the Paramount Network, which is...
we're also under the age of 50.
Yeah, true. And I don't think it got popular until the pandemic. But now it's extremely popular show. One of the most... it has like 3 spin-offs. I think Harrison Ford's about to be in one of their spin-offs.
Fuck off! Fuck you!
I'm not even kidding.
Fuck you!
I'm not kidding when I say that. But then now he's branching out, of course, into new things, such as this show, Tulsa King.
So how do you feel about that scene where he gets out of prison, he's talking to all the mafia guys, and he's like, I need to be compensated.
I mean, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny that he walked in there and he was like,
I swear it off!
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, here's a couple of things that came to my mind before we get to that scene, which is he has a beard just for the opening. Like they had
that's how you know he was in prison.
Stallone grew a beard out. Well, you can shave in prison.
Yes, you can. You get razors in prison.
But you can, in fact, shave. And also, he just hangs out there, and he's there for that one scene with a full beard, and then he's just back to normal Sylvester Stallone. And we get a long sequence of him in the car just looking at what I like to call modern times B-roll. Where it's just...
it's kind of weak shit. I was expecting him to see, like, 2 guys holding hands.
like 2 guys kissing at a football game or something.
Or, like, a photo of Barack Obama as president. He's like,
He's like, huh? I was expecting him to get out there and... I mean, like we talked about, I'm expecting him to get out there and be like, where are the towers? Where'd the towers go? I was expecting him to, like, look at a movie theater and see, like, all Marvel movies and be like, ugh, what's that?
No,
what happened to Blade?
They didn't have any of that. He's just like, well, I don't understand anything going on. I'm just gonna go talk to my guys now.
So he went to jail 25 years ago. That would mean
1997.
He just barely missed Blade, and the last big superhero movie was Batman and Robin.
Right.
I doubt he was a big movie guy, though. He was probably too busy doing crimes.
I think part of the mafia is they don't really do a lot of work. They just threaten people with the violence to do work for them, Keo.
It's true. And it's it's how it works.
He just doesn't seem like a movie guy to me. He seems like somebody who's actually just focused on other things than entertainment.
Yeah, he doesn't have to fill the screaming void in his head.
I mean, based on the fact that when he got out of prison, he did not have any regard for entertainment at all. He's not seen doing any type of entertainment, period. He was so
disconnected in prison that he didn't know phones came out.
What you think, like, the guards would mention having phones? Or, like, he'd watch a TV show and he'd see the phone on it?
Yeah, or something, maybe. Like,
or he would see the people
out when he saw, like, contraband coming in.
People will definitely have phones snuck into the prison for sure.
Well, I don't think they're smuggling smartphones in, but I wouldn't.
But he was still... He acts like you can't look things up.
Oh, you're right.
A thing you could have already done in 1997.
Barely.
Not on your phone, but...
Hey, you got Yahoo on that thing?
On your computer, you could kind of look things up in that year, but it kind of sucked.
It would have been great if there was a joke where he gave out, like, his email address and he was like, yeah, it's poontanglover69 at yahoo.com.
AOL.com.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
then he
true.
finds out AOL
he like
isn't
tries
around anymore.
Yeah, he gets like so pissed off because AOL's not around. He's like,
They took away the best parts.
He turns on the computer and he's like listening for like the
The
dial-up
dial tone.
noises. Yeah. It's like, am I online or not?
What do you mean I don't
tries
need
to
a
put, like,
telephone cord?
he gets like a laptop for when he like went on during his move, and he like tries to put the AOL disc into the laptop.
Oh.
It just crashes.
I don't understand.
But anyway, he goes and meets these Italian guys, aka his bosses.
The Mafia.
Yeah, and the main guy is called Pete the Rock Invernizzi,
Yeah.
and that never comes up. That his name is The Rock.
Doesn't matter. They were like, hey, thanks for going to prison for us. Anyways.
This scene is almost perfunctory.
Almost
like,
what?
They kind of. It's very perfunctory. Help.
It's very perfunctory.
It's very abrupt how the show handles him getting out of prison and then going to Tulsa. Like, all the connective tissue is very sparse.
Yeah. Well, because it apparently he gets out of prison, gets driven to their house, and they're like, "You're leaving."
And he's like, okay.
He's like pissed off for 2 seconds, and he's like, "All right, fine."
They don't even have a scene where he resists the call to adventure.
I mean, I think him punching a guy is supposed to be that.
Yeah.
Well, it also only lasts like 5 seconds then.
Yeah.
Well, they say they're going to give him a stipend or something. Is that right? And he's like, okay.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I guess it's good. But also, he doesn't even need it, considering he makes, upon landing, within an hour, he makes $500,000.
Yeah, can we talk about? Are we allowed to talk about what happens in this whole sequence where he gets into town?
Yes, we are. That's what our job is, Keo, on this podcast.
Well, there's a lot to unpack here, Keo, with these Italian guys. AKA
Well,
the
maybe
Mafia.
longer than our Doug episode.
I just don't understand anything going on here, honestly. So he comes in, he's like, I want to be compensated, please. And they're like, no. They're like, we went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we thought there's nothing there. There's no crime boys at all. And if we went there, we could do whatever we want. Because that's just how it works. That's how it works. And he's like, oh, okay.
They're like, hey, have you heard of this place called Tulsa? Yeah, it's been around for roughly as long as the country, and also nobody's ever thought about doing crime there.
Yeah, the Midwest has never been host to organized crime.
It's funny because this makes actually less sense when the original premise, which was that this was going to take place in Kansas City.
Which is where the guys from Casino were based.
Yes. Like a notorious criminal
real
underground.
Yeah, and he's like, well, that sounds like you're going to be exiling me. And they're like, no, come on. No, we're not doing that. We just don't want you here.
We love you.
Your favorite guy.
It gives him a friendly mafia kiss and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mafia kiss is famously friendly.
I do have this one line written down because I thought it was so funny. First off, this guy who's playing the Don, I guess.
He's the Don?
Talking. I don't know. He's the boss. So is that the Don?
No.
Yes.
There's no way. He sucks.
You are no Don. I bet he didn't even do the thing with the sword.
You
It's
are
just
no
a
Don.
glorified crew.
But he's doing this thing where he's like, he's speaking like this. I guess he's trying to imitate Don Corleone.
Well, also, he's in a wheelchair and has pipes in his neck. He has little tubes in his nose.
Yeah, but he has like a very distinct way of speaking that isn't like, that doesn't seem like something that would be connected to that.
Oh.
But he does say this one line, which I wrote down because I thought it was so funny, which is when Sylvester Stallone's throwing a fit about having to go to Tulsa, rightfully so. He says, "Listen to my son." And that's it. And that's like enough to get Sylvester Stallone to be like, okay, fine, yeah. After he punches a guy in the face. He's
not telling them anything. He's like, you can have I'm giving you a whole city. It's like, no, you're not. You're really not.
And Sylvester Stallone does give us a quick family rundown here where he's like, my wife divorced me and I haven't talked to my daughter in 18 years, just so everyone knows what my situation's like when I move.
They give him the unequivocal cool story, bro, on that one.
Yeah. But he knocks this guy out with one punch, which I think is written in his contract he has to do.
Yes.
Because he hits him, and the guy falls to the ground out cold completely. Like the camera shows him passed out on the floor, and everyone is like, "Hey man, this is ridiculous." And the guy, the boss's, the Don's son is like, "Hey, you owe us $5,000. Is it $5,000 a week or $5,000 a month?"
That's a good question.
This is what he's expected to pay.
I think it's a week.
Well, he easily makes it within an hour of being there, which is wild. But anyway, they're like, "You're expected."
Wait, he's paying? I thought they were going to give him some money to help him get started. It was the opposite. They're wanting him to pay.
Well, yeah, because he's setting up for them, so they want him to pitch in $5,000 a week, I guess. Once he gets set up.
Why does he say that's okay then? Why is he on board suddenly when they say that?
Maybe Keo has the right idea.
Yeah, it's almost like he's doing all this work. And he really has no obligation to actually give them money.
It's true.
Yeah, they told him where a city was.
Yeah. It's true. They don't set him up with anybody that they met there. They were just like, "Hey, there's a city that you can go to." And here's the other thing, and I think this is technically supposed to be part of the plot, but we find out at the end of the episode that Sylvester Stallone is not playing like a slightly younger character. He's just as old as he is in real life. He's 75 years old in this show. And so
what's the in-universe justification for him looking like that? Because I don't think this guy had access to human growth hormones.
Correct.
In prison.
I don't know how a guy who spent 25 years in prison looks that good.
Crime keep you young.
I think that's the message, yeah. But also, usually if the case happens that a 70-plus-year-old mobster gets out of prison, I think they just retire, right? They don't just keep running the show. They certainly don't get sent to a new location to start up a new enterprise.
Certainly not. And I just love love the story here where we get this guy who's fresh out. I think
everyone in the mafia thinks he's 52.
He's fresh out of prison, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go do that some more. I've learned nothing."
Yeah, listen, we all want to. We love a hero.
That's what you want in a character.
But so he's getting in from into Tulsa. He shows up. We get introduced to our the man who will become his driver, whose name is not Mitch. Mitch is the bartender. This guy's name is
Tommy.
Tyson. Close. His name is Tyson. I did have to look it up because
I assume the scriptwriter named him after Tyson Chicken.
Yes, they did for sure.
Yeah, they were looking at a bag of it while they were writing the script.
They're like, "What's the blackest name you could think of?" They're like,
"Yes."
What about?
But what do black people like?
they like Tyson's all white meat chicken.
I have a much more charitable thought, which is he thought, "What's some black people I know? Oh, Mike Tyson."
Oh,
no!
And then he just named him after that.
Don't think so.
Which is still racist, but less so than looking at a bag of chicken and thinking black people. But yeah, so we get introduced to Tyson. He's the titular. He's the token black character on this show. Now, is this where we reveal that Keo has watched the second episode?
Yeah, sure.
Is that right? Oh, okay.
It's a deep cut here, a big reveal. this character does have a family. He's not just the only black character in the show. He's got like a dad who's disappointed in him or something.
Okay. Sounds like a rich character vein.
I assume the arc is he'll decide that Sylvester Stallone is very cool and become proud of his son.
That should be the arc.
Because it doesn't seem like crime is bad in the show.
No, crime in fact seems very cool in this show.
And easy to do.
Considering there are no consequences for any of the actions that Sylvester Stallone commits in this.
It boggles the mind how successful he is at crime when he's like, how does this work?
So he lands and he starts assaulting people like he's in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I feel like you need to build up a support network before you can get into the racketeering.
Yeah, so he lands. There's seemingly no one else here who is helping him get started. He's just landing there and they're just like, figure it out.
So he gets a taxi from Tyson.
Yeah. Tyson's really talkative like those black folk are.
He keeps calling Sylvester Stallone gangster, and we have a scene about that. Or
he's for some reason very upset by this word being used, and then he's like,
"Well, I can pin down this scene real quick."
Boomer brainworms.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey man, it's a gangster. What are you talking about?"
He left in '97. People were using that term already.
Yeah, and he went to prison for 25 years. He would have heard a black person say it.
Yes.
So
yeah, I guess he was in the only prison that had no new inmates in 25 years.
He's very offended by this term being used, and he's like, "Anyway, let's go commit some crimes now."
Hey, we're gonna go commit some crimes.
Also, I want to know, Keo's Stallone getting better. But yeah, he sits down. He's like,
I'm gonna go do some crimes real quick. By the way, I never bothered to check. Is marijuana legal? Oh, well, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, he's immediately just like befuddled by the concept of a dispensary. He's like talking like, "Where's the crew for this? And how does this operate? And how do we get in on this? Who's doing security on this joint?"
Also, this is not a very realistic depiction of a dispensary.
No.
At least
like when I went, there were like two guys with guns on the outside and another behind the desk.
Well, this is in Tulsa, where they don't have that.
Yeah, they don't believe in guns in the deep red state of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The deep red city. I actually don't think Tulsa's a red city, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, they have this highly unprofessional dispensary where all the employees and the owner are there, and they're all high.
Also, one of the employees is,
Yeah, they're
too stoned to stand.
The closest they have to someone who's making sure that their store, which carries on them $500,000, is a guy who has mace.
And he's eating.
Yeah.
He's fat, by the way, so he's a lesser person.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
The show clearly wants us to be disgusted with him.
So Sylvester Stallone's like, "What's this for?" And he's like, "It's a weed dispensary." He's like, "What? Huh? How?"
Take me to the boss. I want to talk to the boss right now.
The thing is, the screenplay goes through so many loops to just not have someone say, "Dude, you know it's legal, right?"
Well, they tell him it's legal. He's like, "Well, it's federally illegal. They could take your money."
Which, no.
They could, but also if you call the police, whose side do you think they're going to take?
Probably the store.
Yeah. The writers never saw that episode of The Sopranos that opened with the guys trying to shake down the Starbucks, and that's being completely no-sold.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not. But yeah, Stallone walks in there and he's like, "Hey, how's the place run? What do you do here?"
And we're like, well,
he's able to just
weed.
strong arm his way in there, threaten his way into the vault where they keep $500,000 in cash.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm going to start taking 20% from this whole operation.
And they're like, okay, I guess.
He's like, he's like, what? He's like, why? What's going on?
And he says, because otherwise I'm going to break your little feetsies. You wouldn't want a little broken footy.
It hurts really bad to get the bones in your foot broken. Happened to me.
I don't know
before.
if you know this, but broken bones in the feet where you walk all the time, that's going to hurt.
He's like, no, I don't want that. Anyways, here's my money. We're now business partners. And he's like, do I have a choice? And he's like, no, you don't.
You sure don't. You don't, buddy.
But how much? So $500,000, 20. He makes 100,000, right? Just in that one moment, 20%
if he took
of that.
$20,000, yeah, he just walked out with. This doesn't make any sense. Like, what's the rationale here for the guy like not reporting this to the police?
Because he got his ass kicked by a tough guy, Keo.
Yeah.
He's an effeminate Zoomer. He's an effeminate millennial. He doesn't know how to stand up for himself.
So he's that scared that he's just gonna let him do it. He just.
Yeah, society has completely forgotten how to deal with tough guy mafia individuals.
Yeah, so when one dude shows up from the bygone era of 1997.
Okay, but the thing about this character, which I think is actually really hilarious, that this whole sequence was hilarious, by the way. I'm criticizing it because it's supposed to be a drama. But, like, the guy who's getting, like, robbed and, like, is... By the way, he also assaults the guard by hitting him with, like a metal thermos thing.
Yeah.
Didn't belong to him. It was Tyson's, who was thirsty.
He took it and he throws it at the guy, and the guy falls to the ground, knocked out immediately.
He again, he's like One Punch Man here with these people. So he knocks out the guard, and he robs the place. It's a robbery, and they're just like he's just like snarky about it. He's like, oh well, whatever. Like, come on, this is so lame, bro.
Hey, man, listen, I got video games to play.
Listen, my
So just take my
avocados
money.
need to be toasted.
So he comes back into the place later, and they've not contacted the police. They have not heightened security. They've done nothing. So he's just literally...
The guard doesn't mace him or anything.
Yeah, he's just literally rolling over for this guy because he's real tough and scary. He's by himself. He's just one guy. And there's no sign of any other guy.
Like,
it's a boomer power fantasy, Keo.
He doesn't even say, like,
I've got a lot of power behind me or something.
like, he doesn't even say, like,
Hey, I got a lot of people.
He doesn't even insinuate, like, by the way, don't bother talking to the police. It's not gonna go well for you, buddy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he tries to say that, but he doesn't really say it in any convincing way because he doesn't realize it's fucking legal.
Well, somehow, yeah.
I mean, he's told point blank that it's legal. Like, this is said to him. He says it's legal, and he's like, well, federally. So,
I mean, this scene is what talking to a boomer is like.
Except the boomer can just beat you up.
Yeah, that's why it's exactly. That's why it's a power fantasy.
It's a metaphor for American politics.
yeah. But it gets better, though. Can we cut forward a little bit to the second egregious crime he commits in this?
Well, yeah, this comes up like almost immediately. Is the car dealership plot line.
Yeah, that's how we met Keo.
Yeah, he sends the driver over there with cash to purchase like an expensive car. What car was it?
Like,
Yeah,
the most expensive one on their lot.
Yeah.
Which is rule number one of the mafia is don't spend your heist money on fancy things.
Yeah.
Immediately after committing the crime.
Did they ever say what he went to jail for? He killed somebody, right?
Yeah, he killed somebody.
He killed someone.
Like, it was a hit or something, and yeah.
It was on a faulty basis, but he did it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his response is like, well, I need to be compensated. for that I don't feel sorry for at all.
Yeah. And so
he sends him over with cash to purchase this vehicle, and the people at the dealership rightfully tell him, like, this is sketchy as hell, get out of here. Although they were kind of racist about it. They said he was like a crack dealer, but honestly, who does that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, race or not, I think you, like, that's so many red flags that come up.
Yes.
But, yeah, we get a pointless scene where he goes to a bar before that, where he's like...
Where he meets fellow tough guys.
Yeah, where he meets a guy and they compare boots. What was the point of that scene exactly?
Showing how cool and sociable he is.
Okay, sure. Why not? We needed it, I'm sure.
We needed a traditional masculine figure who isn't over the age of 50.
So at this point, do they think we're endeared to this guy? Because I want this guy back in prison already. Like, he's a menace.
He seems like a menace.
Yeah.
He's a menace to society, which came out before 1997. But yeah,
like, he literally thinks he owns the city already, and he's just going in there and just brutalizing people and taking things.
Well, yeah, his little ending monologue is that this city is his. It's been 2 days at the end of this first episode.
So anyways, the bar scene happens. He meets with Tyson the next day. And it's like, hey, where's the car? And Tyson explains what happened. And Stallone's like, oh no, I'm not having none of that.
Yeah, racism in my city? In Oklahoma? I don't think so.
After the race riots? I don't think so. It's not happening.
It looks like you guys didn't learn your lesson.
Would it be a better show if he was just beating up racists the whole time?
So, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why Sly Stallone didn't just make that show instead.
Yeah, just him like beating up everybody whose family was involved in the race riots.
Yes. So Sly Stallone goes to the car dealership.
Yeah, he just barges in there to the owner just immediately.
He has this cool guy speech about how the dealer was afraid of the wrong person because he's very polite to him.
It is the coolest line in the episode for sure.
And then he just attacks him, just assaults him.
You're afraid of the wrong person.
Punch in the face.
The small business owner is probably donated to like every Oklahoma politician.
Yeah.
Who would...
It's definitely not going to call the police.
Yeah, who, unlike the dispensary that, like, maybe might be on sketchy, legal, whatever, this is like a legitimate business that he's just going in and assaulting the guy.
Yeah. And again, there's nobody backing him or anything. It's just him and some dude.
And he does purchase the car successfully. With cash.
Also, nobody witnesses this at this car dealership that seems fairly busy either.
Yeah. True. Cash that, by the way, this takes place in modern times, can just be traced back to the weed dispensary.
Yes.
Well, the police are never contacted because I guess
if they called the police and said, "Hey, we lost like $50,000," and suddenly a guy buys a Lincoln Navigator with $20,000 in cash.
Yeah.
Of course, the police are kind of lazy and might not do the investigative work.
But yeah,
that's not. I mean, for that kind of case where there's like a guy in town and he's like brutalizing people and stealing thousands of dollars, I think they might...
yeah, the thousands of dollar part is the important part here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like if Lalo Salamanca was written by like just average writers.
By like the Sons of Anarchy guys.
Yeah. Like he just comes in here and starts beating people up, assaulting folks. We were 2 seconds. Next episode, Keo watched it, but next episode he's probably climbing through the roof of a place.
In the second episode, he doesn't do any interesting crimes that I can remember. He's just kind of... I don't even remember. I've already forgotten.
Also, the Mafia just does, like, computer crimes these days. Because you can't really do racketeering anymore.
True. But yeah, and then the show takes a odd turn where for the remainder of the episode, he's just at a bachelorette party.
Yeah.
So he goes to his favorite place, the bar, and he has a conversation with like the bartender, who is a recurring character according to the show notes in Wikipedia. And they have like a little exposition off there where he's like, yeah, you know, I've been to jail. He's like, yeah, me too. And then this lady comes up and is like, are you famous? And he's like, no. She's like, can I take your picture? And he's like, no. So then she's like, you're rude. And then her friend comes over and she's like, hey, you're rude. He's like, I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't like my photo being taken.
She's like, anyways, can we have sex? And he's like, yes, let's go.
Let's go party. And then here's the major plot hole. The Mafia guy says they're going to party, and then there's no cocaine whatsoever.
True. You're going to tell me this guy... This is an old school Mafia guy. You're going to tell me he's not doing cocaine? There's a brief moment where he beats up a guy for getting handsy, and that's it. Afterwards, the lady's like, hey, have you thought about sexual intercourse?
He says, I've thought about it once or twice.
I have some strong opinions on that matter.
And so we get the aftermath, I guess, of them having sex where they are distances apart from one another and fully clothed.
Yes, of course.
And she's like, hey, can I wear your robe? And he's like, oh, sure. And then he's completely clothed still, and she's also clothed in a robe. And they're just like talking back and forth.
Oh, you know? Yeah. They put on the VR helmets to fuck.
They're like, I can't believe we just had sex. I haven't had sex in a while.
He's like, oh, I'm a little rusty. Because it's been 25 years from me.
He's like, I'm 75 years old. And she's like, whoa.
He's like, whoa, ew. Oh,
how? How is that possible?
Yeah. Yeah, she can't believe she got piped down by a 75-year-old man. But I think mainly what it is that she can't believe she enjoyed getting piped down by a 75-year-old man.
I think the fact is she can't believe that that's a 75-year-old man in front of her.
Well, yeah, this is like, did Sylvester Stallone write this part of the script?
I feel like we had to...
Like, why are we having her be like, I thought you were 55?
He's like, well, thanks, you know, I work out or whatever. Thanks, I knew a guy in prison who knew how to get me HGH.
It's like, I got the adrenochrome thing that they talk about on conspiracy websites.
I think it just... Okay, well, if you didn't do the age thing, what reason would you have for her to run off?
I guess, true. Otherwise, she would just stay there.
I guess you could mention being in prison for 25 years, but how would that come up?
Yeah.
Maybe,
how would that come up organically?
Maybe you could show like a bout of like rage or something that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Or she just has to leave for work, considering that she works. The big reveal at the end is that she works for the FBI.
Yeah. She works for the ATF, I thought.
Oh yeah,
ATF,
she works for the ATF.
Not the FBI. Not close. Not even close. It's like what is ATF? They do like gun.
They burn down people's houses.
They do like
alcohol, tobacco, and firearms branch.
Yeah, like guns.
One of those is not like the other.
Guns, explosives, and cigarettes.
Yeah. So very much not. Which is why I think it is kind of funny at the end that they're like, oh yeah, by the way, the FBI passed along this bulletin. It's not really our jurisdiction, so don't fucking think anything about it.
Yeah, Mafia guys never deal in firearms.
Yeah.
Or alcohol, or tobacco.
Never. Well, he doesn't, obviously. All he needs is a single mug to knock someone out.
Yeah, he just needs to just walk in there and just say, this is mine now.
In fact, in this entire show, he is not, I guess he does drink, but he has not smoked, fired a gun, or exploded anything.
He goes up to Tyson, he's like, you belong to me now.
She's like, yes.
I decide when you die. All in service of my dream.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And Tyson is just fully on board with this guy doing crimes, and he's the accomplice now. He's just like...
Yeah. To be fair to Tyson, though, if you're in that position and someone was offering to pay you $2,000 a week, I mean, you're
Absolutely.
Probably, yeah.
I would be skeptical, and I would
If there are any mafia people listening to this podcast, I would love to get a job with you.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very poor decision, guys. Come on. Like, seriously, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's just, he has, like some kind of, like, plot, like...
Listen, is the driver ever gone to prison for the mafia guys? I don't think so, okay?
Look, he doesn't know what a dispensary is, and he goes and robs one. And he's like, sure, I'm going to go with this guy. He seems to know what he's doing. Like
well, it looks cool, obviously.
Yeah, he's a gangster, even though he can't say the word.
It looks cool, yeah. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, Keo. I don't know why you're so negative about this.
Look,
cool
I would go with a competent gangster who knows what he's doing, not one who clearly doesn't. But you know, who am I to say that? Because clearly he knows what he's doing because he gets away with it.
Yeah, Tulsa's his city. That's what he says at the end. It's been 2 days and he's already taken control of the entire city.
Yeah, well, what else happens in this episode?
That's it.
Yeah, he goes, looks out the window, and he says, "Yep, this is my city.
This city's mine. This is my territory now. Better stay out."
Yeah, can I give you guys a quick rundown of episode 2?
Okay,
what I remember from it?
Go ahead, buddy.
You've already forgotten so much.
I have, because it's much less eventful than this one. Still, Sylvester Stallone goes. The biggest thing that happens that I can remember, and I just watched it, I don't remember, so it tells you that either my memory is really bad or the episode wasn't that interesting. Of course, he goes back to the dispensary a third time, and the guy's like, "Oh, what do you want? You here to rob me again?" He's like, "Why am I giving you 20% anyway? Like, what am I getting out of this? Why don't I just call the police?" He doesn't say why don't I call the police because he doesn't even occur to him to contact the police. He's like, I'm going to get you a better deal on your weed. And he's like, "What?" It's like, yeah. So he goes down to like the place where they grow the weed, which is like not far away. And he does a hard bargain and he gets a better deal for the dispensary.
Incredible. Does the hard bargain involve, let me guess, a threat?
No, he just does a deal. He's just like a business guy. That's it. Okay.
He does tell Tyson to refer to him as an industrialist because no one knows what that means.
Yeah. So
that's kind of funny.
That was kind of funny.
He goes down there, he's just like, how about I pay you half as much? And they're like, you drive a hard bargain. He's like,
how about you complete this side quest for us and we'll consider it.
You have yourself a deal, my man.
That's it?
That's it. He gives a whole speech. He's like, "You guys have a lot of acres and you're giving us your garbage crop and you're going to charge us $1,200 per whatever." And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, well, what's going to happen? I'm going to
suck you off.
We're going to take 10 pounds for $1,200, the next 10 for $1,100, the next 10 for $1,000, and the rest for $750.
Also, it's never a good sign when your mafia capo has very good experience with dealing drugs.
True.
And also the guy he punched is upset that he got punched, and he's like, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him.
Which guy? Oh, you mean the car dealership guy?
No. The mafia guy who got punched.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those mafia guys are in the main cast, so they have to be in every episode, of course.
Really? I mean, the show is so quick to move on from them.
No, it's not quick at all. There's major consequences for him punching that guy for whatever reason. And also, he's really sad because his daughter don't talk to him anymore because his daughter don't talk to him anymore because
he's a violent sociopath.
Because he stopped visiting with her because he couldn't handle it.
Oh, that sounds like his problem then. Sounds like you made yourself sad, bud.
And at the end of the episode, he's like, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for all the crime I did, but I'm sorry for not being with my daughter.
Unrelated to all of this, and it does sound funny, but not maybe not interesting. The last 2 episodes that have been out so far, this is a weekly show coming out on Paramount Plus. They were directed by a man named Ben Semenoff.
What a good name.
Just wanted to say that.
It's a great name.
Anyway, all right, what are our final thoughts here on Tulsa King? Tune in, tune out.
Ooh.
Oh, this is very interesting as a portrait into the boomer psyche. The sense that our society is decayed and we need to return to the values of the old age.
1997.
Through extreme violence.
Yeah, I think this show is profoundly stupid.
And profoundly fascist.
I can't tell if the show is profoundly stupid in a way that makes me want to watch more or in a way that makes me want to say, don't watch it.
Well, Keo doesn't make me want to paint a positive portrait of the second episode.
I mean, I was entertained by it. The second episode was much less wacky than the first one, and I don't know. I want to see where this show goes. I'm tuning in just because it's wild. Look, one thing it's not guilty of, guys. At least for at least 85% of it's not guilty of being boring, which is
true.
It's true.
That's the important thing.
There were some parts I was tuning out of, but I was not tuning out of the show.
Yeah, like there's a 15% of the show that is boring, but the rest of it is definitely entertaining.
Stare?
I guess it's a tune in. Keo summed it up. It's no Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
But yeah, what is? This is tough. I think I'm going to be the rare dissenting opinion here. I'm going to tune out on this.
Why is that?
Because it's stupid?
It's dumb.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking stupid. Let's...
Yeah,
probably don't watch this. We're insane.
I think it's very funny. Watch the first episode and decide if you want to watch more. I watched the first episode and I decided that was funny to talk about, but no more for me, thanks. Because Keo's description of the episode did sound dreadfully boring. And so I'm good. And also, frankly, go ahead.
A lot of the stuff felt kind of phoned in, but at the same time, I don't know. It has this energy to it that's enticing and enthralling, despite not really making sense. And you just kind of I had to see what happened. You got to see what happens next.
And frankly, I deal enough with the boomer mindset in my day-to-day life. I do not need to.
No! Oh, I'm so sorry, Swanson. I'm so very, very sorry.
I don't need to have to watch this particular minefield to understand it. So I'm going to give it a tune up. But hey, that's still a tune in. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So that's a tune in on Tulsa King. And that'll about do it for this week's episode of the show. Now, this was a regular broadcast episode of TV Tuners, but if you have an idea for a bonus episode that you want to hear us discuss about pretty much anything you could think of, perhaps more Tulsa King, maybe not that. All you have to do is go over to buymeacoffee.com/tvtuners. A single copy will give you a single episode for us to discuss anything you could think or dream. And,
like Mobile Suit Gundam, more in the pocket.
Yeah, you could do that. The Buy Me a Coffee episodes are going to resume in the new year. Of course, next week we're going to be celebrating the holidays with a little Christmas-themed special that we're going to leave a surprise until next week. But until then, keep watching. Bye. It's over.
I found him.
Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners Denver Fact of the Week. Did you know the Stairmaster tried to rob a dispensary unarmed and was shot within 5 minutes of the altercation?
They drew first blood! They drew first blood!